So today we're going to go shopping for some new art supplies for my art journal, but I'm going to do it on a budget. In fact, we're going to go to Dollar Tree, and my challenge to myself is to find 23 new items that I can use while art journaling. I have no idea what I'm going to find. I don't know if I'm going to find 23, but we're going to try. Let's do it. All right, so I'm back in my studio with a couple of bags full of goodies here beside me. I'm going to go through the items individually and I will explain how I plan to use them. I'm going to show these to you in no particular order, just in the order that I'm grabbing them out of the bags. So let's start with item number 1. The first thing I picked up is this Jot Permanent Marker. It's got a bullet tip point and it's in black. It says here, smooth writing, durable tip. And it seemed like a really good addition to my mark making supplies. So here's the marker. It's got a fairly large tip and I've got just some regular watercolor paper here and I just want to try it out. Oh, I like that. It's got a ton of ink. It's very high contrast. It's very opaque. I really like this. It's going to be great in my art journal for mark making. Item number 2 is not an art supply per se, but it is an organizational item. So I picked this up from their party supply department and I really like it because it's going to be great for some of my collage components. I always have little tiny bits and pieces, the small leftovers that don't fit anywhere else. I'm going to really enjoy being able to categorize them maybe by color, and it's going to look great on my desk as I work. The third item I picked up is this beautiful sparkle mesh. I am madly in love with how delicate and absolutely beautiful this is. It's going to create some lovely texture and just a beautiful pattern on my art journal pages. It's ethereal. It's absolutely lovely. And they had a lot of these different kinds of patterns and different colors as well. The next item I grabbed is also a mesh. The mesh in this one is quite a bit larger, so the squares, the holes are a bit larger. This is going to be great to stencil through, and it's also going to be great to just glue down and create some texture. And of course, I love that glittery, shimmery gold sheen. Item number 5 is another storage supply, although you can also use this as a paint palette. I'm actually going to use it just to pour some of my matte medium in while I'm working, because I like having these tiny little bowls on hand, especially when I'm working with something that is very fluid, very liquid, and I need a lot of it. So these are great. I believe these also came from the party department. There are 4 in a pack. Item number 6 is some beautiful tissue paper. I really like the pattern on this one. I like that it's simple. I do want to point out that they had a lot of different colors, a lot of different patterns, so you can get whatever you like, whatever suits your aesthetic and your style and your journal pages. So inside we have 6 sheets, including some of these beautiful craft colored pieces, which are going to be so useful just to add a little bit of neutral resting space on my pages. Item number 7 is a collection of 3 different glitter glues. I love glitter glue. I use it all the time. Not only does it add that beautiful shimmery sheen, especially if you spread it out on your page a little bit, but I like that if you let it dry, just the way you lay it on the paper, it also adds texture because it dries hard and it sticks up from the page. So I love glitter glue. I love cheap glitter glue. It doesn't need to be anything fancy. It doesn't have to come from Michael's. It doesn't have to come from an art supply store. The stuff that you find at the Dollar Tree is just perfect for our art journal. I also really like the colors in this collection. We've got this beautiful deep red, we've got silver and gold. Item number 8 are 2 water-soluble marking pencils. They come in 2 colors, blue and white, and I'm going to show them to you in action. So the blue one right here, of course, depending on how hard you press, you'll get more or less pigment. Looks quite pigmented, which I like a lot. And let's see if I can show you the white one. Yes, perfect, right here. You can see how that actually shows up really, really well on top of the marker that I put down earlier. Now, this is water soluble, so I'm just going to grab a little bit of water that I have on hand. I'll just apply it with my finger and see what happens. Oh, that's lovely. I wasn't expecting it to dissolve quite as well as it is dissolving, especially because I pressed fairly hard on that blue, but it's giving me this really beautiful watercolor texture. I like that a lot. Item number 9 is a paintbrush. This is actually one of my favorite paintbrushes to use both in my art journal and on my canvases. This is a 1.5-inch brush and it comes from their tool section. It's soft, it's thick, you can apply a ton of paint with this, a lot of gesso, you can spread things around. I actually find that the bristles don't come out nearly as much as some of my other brushes, my more expensive brushes. So this is really great. Again, their brushes come in a variety of sizes, so you can get big ones, you can get small ones, you can get little tiny narrow ones, whatever you need. But I really like the size. It works for backgrounds really well. Item number 10 is some alcohol spray. You're going to see me use this quite a bit when I'm working on my art journal pages because it provides this really beautiful splotchiness when I spray it on top of acrylic paint. So it basically just eats through that paint and it gives you this lovely spray distressed effect. Item number 11 are these Beauty Basics sponges. Quality applicators, exfoliating buffs, and cleansing products. I use them to just spread things on my page, whether it's ink, whether it's acrylic paint. I can daub them on. I can use them to stencil through stencils. There's a million things I can do with these, and I always love to have them on hand. Item number 12 are these chunky brushes, also from Crafter Square. So their crafting department has a ton of things that you can pick from. I particularly like these chunky brushes because they're not perfect, because they have these splayed ends that allow me to create some really unique markings on my backgrounds and on my pages. You can see what I mean here. The edges are splayed, they're rough, and that's exactly what I want for this type of brush. I want them to be imperfect. I want them to make some unpredictable, funky marks on my pages. These are great. Item number 13 is this beautiful lace ribbon. I love how delicate this is, and yet at the same time, it also feels quite resilient. Like I could lay it down and I could cover it in Mod Podge or matte medium or paint or whatever, and it is not going to fall apart on me. This is going to create some lovely texture. I can stencil through it. I can just put it down. I can use it to frame some elements on my pages. I can use it to create borders. And it certainly is a lot cheaper than going to Michael's and picking up something very similar. Item number 14 is something I like to have in my studio all the time, and I was running out, and that is wax paper. I use it in particular to keep my pages separate so that while I'm working on a spread, if some of the ink or the paint just drips over, I don't have to worry about the pages sticking together or about some of my other pages and other spreads potentially getting stained by whatever it is that I'm using. Item number 15 is this really cool cutting mat. I was so surprised to find this at the dollar store. It's really good quality. It's sturdy. It's thick. It is the perfect thing for you to use if you are fussy cutting with an X-Acto knife. This is exactly what you need. And I really like the small ones because I don't usually fussy cut big, huge pieces. I'm normally looking for really small details. So something tiny that I can just keep on hand in a drawer nearby is perfect. Item number 16 might be a little bit unconventional, but I'm really excited to try these out. I picked up some dryer balls, and I picked these up specifically for mark making on my pages. I think it's going to be so much fun to dip these into some black paint or some white paint and just roll them over the page and see what happens. And they're just really fun to play with. Item number 17 is this really cool placemat that I fell in love with the moment I saw it. Not only did I really like the gold, which, you know me, of course I did, but I'm going to use this as a stencil. I think it's going to be so gorgeous to lay this out, this whole entire thing, over an entire page and just use it as a background stencil. It is beautiful. Number 18, and if you know me at all, you know I couldn't help this, is glitter. I had to pick up some glitter. I really like the colors in this again. I've got two different types of gold, a silver, a copper, and this really beautiful magenta pink. These are a really good size, and I love that you get 5 in a pack. Dollar Tree has a lot of paint that they offer. I really like their craft paints, again, because I'm just working in my journal and I don't care about how long these pages are going to last. I don't need them to hang in a gallery. I don't need the paint to be light fast and permanent. I find the Dollar Tree paint is just perfect for playing in an art journal. I picked up a neon pink this time around because I've really been into neon colors lately. I just love the pop of color that they lend to a page, especially when I'm working with a lot of neutrals. They have a number of neon paints, so if you're interested in neon, they've got green, blue, orange, yellow, pink. I think that's all I saw at my local store. But of course, there are also just all of the other regular colors that you can find. And for $1, you get 4 fluid ounces, which I think is a really good deal. Item number 20 is this beautiful paper pack that I found in their crafting department. I'm going to open it up for you and show you what's inside. For $1, you get this entire stack of papers, and there is a wide variety of the types of papers that you can find inside, including this beautiful glitter paper, which is pretty thick. It's on cardstock. And I love that there's just these tiny little pieces. They are perfect for art journaling. Oh, I love the texture on this. Can you see that? This came out of a dollar store paper pack. Amazing. This one has stars embossed on it. I love how this one already has a torn edge. Love the marble texture on this one. It's almost like it was created with alcohol inks. And this one is a lot thinner, which I really like too. I like the variety of weights in here. And check this out. This looks like just beautiful, high quality paper. This one is thick, but very textured. Oh, there's some gold. I didn't even know there was gold in this one. Again, with that beautiful torn edge. There's that shimmery pink. Love the splotchy one right here. More lovely texture. This one is embroidered. You guys, this is blowing my mind. Actually, there are a lot of these embroidered ones, which is so cool. Oh my gosh, these ones have flowers on them. They had a number of different packs. I picked the one that I thought I would like the most, and I was expecting it to be just fully neutral colors. Look at that. How cool that is. I am madly in love with this paper pack that I got for $1. Something else I picked up that always lives in my studio is some baby oil. Now you might be wondering what I use this for, and I use it specifically when I'm image transferring. I will do a tutorial on how I image transfer, but what I really like to do with it is once I've transferred the image onto the page, and I've dried it, sometimes you can see that the image looks a little bit fuzzy, like I haven't gotten all of the paper texture off of it because I didn't want to push too hard and tear into it. Baby oil is magic. It just brings all of the colors right back because it absorbs into the paper that's left on top, and it just leaves that beautiful glowy ink look after you've transferred. So baby oil is always on my desk. You might be surprised to see that I picked up some coffee filters. Well, don't be. These are excellent. I like to use these in my art journal the same way that I would use something like tissue paper or even tea bags. I like to stain them. I like to drop watercolor on them. I like to drop inks on them and just watch them flow and seep into the paper and see what happens. And I love stamping on these and then gluing them down with some matte medium so that the paper almost disappears beneath the matte medium, just leaving the imprint of that beautiful stamp image or word or whatever it is that I'm using. So these are very versatile. And of course, you can just use them as collage paper. You can paint over them. You can stencil on top of them. You can do a variety of things, and it just adds another layer to your art journal. And last but certainly not least, because this is very handy, is some hairspray. Just like the baby oil and some of the other things that you have seen me pick up, this is one of those staples that always lives in my studio, and I like to have some on hand because I use it to fix my non-permanent art supplies in my art journal. I particularly like it for charcoal, but it also works beautifully for water-soluble art supplies that you might use. It works well with glitter after you've glued it down and you want to make sure that it doesn't go anywhere. You could, of course, use fixative, actual art fixative that you can buy at the art store, but that's going to be a whole lot more expensive. I've been using Hairspray on my pages for about a decade now, and I haven't had any of them go yellow or crumble or anything like that. Now, your mileage may vary. You may want to test this before you actually go ahead and use it on your pages, but I haven't had any problems with it, and I love using it to fix the things that I need to stay in place. And as a side benefit, using this keeps my pages from sticking together, which is also something I appreciate. So there you have it, 23 must-have items for your art journaling journey. You can find these at the Dollar Tree right now. Of course, every Dollar Tree is different, so go and take a look. You will be surprised at what you might find. I'm absolutely certain that you will find things that my Dollar Tree didn't have, although you might not find everything that my Dollar Tree had. I still think it's worth going in there with an eye for picking up art supplies, things that you can use for organization, and other necessities for your art journaling. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more art journaling tips, tricks, and inspiration. And if you want to see me create a journal spread, check out this video right over here. Thanks for joining me on this budget art haul adventure. I can't wait to see what amazing creations you come up with using these affordable supplies. Keep journaling, stay creative, and I will see you in the next video.